today Alison and I are hanging out. We are talking all things biodiversity. We are going to get together and we're going to build a bee hotel. We're going to hang out with the chickens. We're going to be testing some honey, and we're going to be talking about all the things that we can do in our own backyards to just promote biodiversity, no matter how big or how small the garden is for you. So we're going for a wander through your garden.
Yes.
What are the things that you've got going on here that promotes biodiversity?
Well, we've got chickens. This is Aphrodite. She likes to eat the worms from the worm farm that's down there in the engine room. And she likes to kick around the compost when I'm composting. And she provides manure for the garden. Every month of the year there's something in flower for the bees, for the birds, for the spiders, for the flies, whoever wants to come and pollinate in my garden, because it's not just bees. I just let things ramble. Here I'm propagating some hives, so it's just a different type of propagation. I've got the one, in fact, do you want to have a look and we'll see?
Love to.
So what is supposed to happen is that they use this box in front to enter the nest at the back, and eventually when this is all full they'll start building in the front one and they'll make a new queen. So instead of having to split a hive like I do every year, they're doing it by a different method. But what I do is I put a piece of perspex on top so that I can actually see what they're doing. But these ones, I've been watching them build. And these are resin bees, so it's Megachili punctata. and at one stage I had 4 different types of bees. There were 3 going into here, and there were 4 different types foraging on here. So these ones, so it's a solitary bee. Do you know what a solitary bee is?
Yes.
So they're all queens in their own right, because they're all fertile, and they lay 4 or 5 eggs, and they divide each egg. They put in a little room, so they lay an egg and then they build a wall, and then they lay another one. So there are 4 or 5 eggs in there. And nature's so wonderful that the one that she laid last hatches first. You're allowed to double dip because it's so great. That can be your honey pot.
Oh, that's amazing. That is incredible.
It's a lot runnier than the honeybee honey.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And it's got that eucalyptus twist at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. That they're actually... a lot of the universities are using what they make in medicines, and they're just seeing how they can, for example, pandemics. They're figuring out how they can use this in how pandemics spread. I mean, there's so many fields. The scientific field is opening up to what our native bees have to offer.
Yeah. In our own gardens or in our own homes, what do you think are some small changes that we can make?
Swap cuttings. Swap cuttings, and invite people into your garden. Come and have a cup of tea and look at the flowers, and just lighting the awareness maybe. So I think people need to be much more mindful about diversity. We've got diversity of people, diversity of everything.
So today we've been making bee hotels. So tell me, where did the idea come from?
For the Wellita Bean Bee Hotel, I guess we just were looking for a project where we could give back. Because if you can help kids to understand something that's really worthwhile, then after a while, it's going to flow through and the society potentially change from there. And these days there is such a loss of pollinators and biodiversity in the world that if you can find a way of doing something about it, you can make a real difference. 50% of the food we eat comes because something is pollinated, whether it's a bee, a wasp, another type of insect or whatever else. There's 1,600 type of bees in Australia. I mean, that's mind-boggling. Most people know the European one, the Australian stingless, and the other ones that they can't really identify, but 1,600 types of bees. And the more we knock down trees and the more land clearing we do and the more pesticides we put on the soil, reduces their ability to be there. At the moment, we've done about 700 bee hotels have gone out. With the bee hotels goes a curriculum that teaches kids about biodiversity and the need of pollinators. Close to 100,000 children we've been able to influence in a simple way, just like sowing a little seed that will make a difference somewhere down the track that could become a big oak tree of sustainability and biodiversity and all the good things that we need.